The Gilbert Mission, first thing you'll notice, is very, very small. On a map of Arizona, it's like your thumbnail. And that's it. It's got 2 stakes in Mesa. Almost all of the stakes in Gilbert, but not quite. And then some stakes down in Queen Creek, Santan Valley, and Florence. I spent most of my time in the northern part of the mission, which is Gilbert. I spent a little bit of time down south in Santan Valley. But when you look at the mission, it's split into 2, the north and the south parts. They're both very different when you compare them. I think the biggest difference is there's a lot of monetary value, a lot of money up in the north part of the mission, a lot of wealthier people. Down south is where you have a lot of the more humble circumstances, those kind of people who maybe are a little bit more receptive to the message that we share. I had a lot of areas on my mission, most of them of being in Gilbert. That being said, I had some of the wealthiest areas in the mission. And interesting enough, most missionaries would say the wealthier areas were the harder areas. When people have money, they tend to not listen to the missionaries. But another unique part about the Gilbert Mission is just how willing the members are to do missionary work. And so it really didn't matter how much money the people had. They loved their friends and they would share the message with them. And so there was still a lot of success no matter where we were. Most of the time in my mission, I was in a car. It is a biking mission, so every missionary does have bikes. But there are enough cars in the mission where most missionaries have the opportunity to have a car at least once. Every one of my areas had a car, but just because we had a car doesn't mean that we only drove. There were a lot of days earlier on in my mission where we didn't have enough miles, and so we'd spend a lot of time biking anyway. It's like biking in an oven with a hairdryer blowing in your face. But in a way, it's the faster you move, the cooler you feel. But the second you stop to talk to somebody, the heat just hits you. It's horrible. But you get used to it after a while. There's a lot of Mexican food, of course, in Arizona. A lot of spicy stuff. In our mission, there's English-speaking missionaries and Spanish-speaking missionaries. I remember the Spanish-speaking missionaries had found some white habaneros and had given them to our zone leaders, and our zone leaders convinced us to eat them without telling us what they were. They're very hot. Very hot. I really loved when they made enchiladas. It was one of our favorite meals. There was also a lot of variety when eating in Gilbert. There's a lot of Hispanic food. It's all authentic, which is really nice. You can have some really good tostadas, or I remember a little place that sold tortas, which was really fun. But then also, the members are so giving. They usually asked what we would like to have for dinner, and they really wanted us to feel at home. And so there was a lot of variety in what you get. I really didn't have a whole lot of language anything. The only fun moments being when you get a referral and the people end up not speaking any English, and they try to speak English with you. It gets kind of funny with that. But, you do your best to try and let them know that you can send some Spanish-speaking missionaries to them and help them understand the gospel in a way that actually makes sense. People like to say that in Gilbert there are 2 seasons. There is summer and inferno. During the summer it gets really hot. Hottest I saw was about 117. If it ever hits about 120, I guess we're supposed to go inside and not go out that day, but I never saw it. Otherwise, throughout the rest of the year, It does cool down a bit, and sometimes on a bike, definitely you'll find yourself pretty chilled on a bike in the winter. It gets cool when you're moving as fast as you do. But really be prepared for a little bit of warmth. In the summer, there are a lot of storms. I remember serving down in Santan Valley my first summer, and every day, the end of the day, for about a month, there was a big lightning storm, which was absolutely beautiful. The lightning storms in Arizona are gorgeous. You really enjoy moments like that. The only thing is, it rains so much, it's just a hassle to be outside. You get absolutely soaked. You're biking through puddles all day. You get really wet. You wouldn't think it would rain that much in a desert, but it does.